I got a text from Jenna yesterday that said, I'm in LMH, I'm having tummy bleeding, I might not be at CO meeting, or I may not be in time for CO meeting. I thought it was Jenna saying that she wasn't going to be in time. I had a meeting with the County Economic Development. I thought, oh, so yesterday evening I called Jenna's cell number, and I said, hey, it's Mark. And she said, oh, how you doing? I said, I'm fine. I said, how are you doing? And she said, oh, I'm fine. I did this or that. I said, wait a minute. You sent me a message saying you were in the hospital. She was forwarded. Cletus called her, wanted my number.
Yeah.
She gave him my number. He sent the text message to her number, and then she forwarded it to me, but didn't tell me that it was, she was just forwarding it. So I thought it was from her. And so apparently, Cletus is in the hospital, and I think Jenna talked to him today, and he was going to have some sort of a GI procedure done, maybe. But anyway, that's obviously why he's not here. He, I would assume, isn't going to be here tonight, so he probably needs an excused absence.
All right. 5:32. We'll start.
Number one, the storm damage that we had occurred from the wind, and this is from the street department. And I put everything in here we could possibly think of. The man hours that we accumulated just through the street department is around $5,500 that we added with overtime, and then stuff that we have done to clean up so far. I mean, we're still cleaning things up. Some of these were, well, I don't think we have any estimates. We may have to go over that some more, because we're still cleaning stuff up.
Something that you may not have seen yet.
Well, I saw it. Yeah.
I just forwarded late this afternoon a state form that I got from Jeff Walker. So I've asked the department heads. I asked the department heads to give me an idea of what we were looking at cost-wise, because I turned an estimate into Jeff Walker, the EMA director. This is a more formal thing, so I need the department heads. I've instructed them to work closely with Linda Richards on the documentation and all that stuff.
Well, hopefully, I mean, this is everything I have pretty much, so hopefully we can take a lot of this off of there. But I don't know about these prices we put on there with FEMA and all that stuff. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
But they give you...
That's the information we have, so that's what we'll go with.
And that's the equipment we use. We use a front end loader, backhoe, dump truck, chipper, pickups, chainsaws, and there's a dollar amount that you can put towards each one of those. Like a loader is $40 per hour. With all the equipment we used, we had up to $7,832 as far as this equipment goes. Chainsaws, chains, $60. We have some damaged guardrail that we put at 500 feet at $14 a foot. That was another $7,000. Our fuel, between gas and diesel, was around $1,000. And the summary for, I'll just read you the summary real quick. Summary, man hours, and this is 3 categories, is again like $5,500. Equipment was $7,800, chainsaws 61, guardrail 7,000, gas again over 1,000, for a total of $21,587 in the street department alone. Now that's everything that we saw: damage, man hours, equipment used. I talked to Dave more about the right-of-way stuff, and there's a neighbor up by you that isn't happy how we've done stuff up there in his cul-de-sac, but they went back and they cut back as far as they could off the road, and stuff is falling down from somebody's property. Yeah, it's one of your neighbors. Cumberland, is Cumberland?
Cumberland, yeah.
The cul-de-sac up there. He called up, wasn't happy, and Dave said, I'm not going to do anything else. If you want to call the mayor and complain, he sends us back up here, that's up to him. But we're done doing what we're doing. Yeah, we're done doing what we're doing.
I think you've cleared all of the branches and everything
yeah,
off the road right away.
It's off the road, but it's like I told the mayor,
As a matter
I
of
won't
fact,
test you about it.
as I recall, there wasn't a whole lot of space between where the end of the cul-de-sac is and where the trees begin.
Right.
Maybe 5 feet, maybe.
if it's 5 feet.
Yeah,
Man, they
so,
are close.
yeah, I mean, I went up there, I saw what was up there, I didn't notice a problem, so,
But he went up there and cut, and then the guy called back and said what happened, so Dave told him he'd like come back up, so.
yeah, I mean, that's a privately owned lot that's there, I
Yeah.
think.
That's why I said we just can't be.
Can't be going for everybody. Jeez.
Would have went to Jimmy Craner's house. 'Cause he had 4 trees fall on his house.
On his house?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's up to $75,000 right now in damage. He moved out of his house, and they got him on Custer, one of those townhouses. He's nobody even has to live in there for 3 months.
Wow.
Any questions on the storm damage? But we're still clearing some areas up here and there. We'll work with, I'll download that form. I'll give Linda this, and then we'll go from there and see what we can do on that.
Okay.
The CDBG signs, I think I talked about those last time. Are we CDBG, Community Development Block Grant signs? You know how close you are to bid on those yet?
It looks like they were, yeah, it looks like they needed to be returned today at 11:30. I'll be honest, we're not gonna bid on it just
Oh, okay.
cause there's, yeah, it's too much of a nightmare for us, but, it says it was due in today, so at 11:30.
Well, time we get those in, hopefully we'll have enough time to get those installed in by the end of the year. Huh?
I didn't have any bid
Turn
openings.
this around.
I didn't have any bid openings scheduled.
No, this would be county would do this.
Oh, the county's
gonna go on 6.
All right.
Oh, is this through them to do that?
Yeah,
Yeah, Sue agrees, Viper.
Are they, can I ask a question about them?
sure.
Do they look like the signs that they're putting up on 79 right now with the side streets, the same type thing, the 2 signs back to back on the
That's the new paperwork I got. It showed that description. It looks just a tad different than the very first picture we ever saw of it, but looks very similar to what's there at like Putnam and
I
Radiant.
just think those look chintzy.
What color? They're brown.
I second that.
I mean,
But
it just
yeah,
looks chintzy. I don't know where to say it. It just, it looks like the lowest cost post you could possibly get.
Those silver,
Yeah, I mean, it's just like those are like for standard for like no parking signs and things like that and everything. You know,
I thought they were supposed to be powder coated.
that's what I thought. They were
Brown.
powder coated and they were.
I think
Well,
I
those,
like that
I think
stuff
the
and everything.
CDBG are gonna be powder coated.
that's what I was gonna say. I'm wondering if
That's
those are,
They'll be
You know,
different.
I wonder if those are different than what this is. I mean, it's not the same thing.
And then
Well,
no,
you know, and what I'm wondering too is, aren't they gonna have the signs on the mast arms? Right?
the master arm signs are already there.
Yeah.
They're the green. They're the green one. Right, because they goofed
Weren't
up.
they supposed to be brown?
I talked to Jim Roberts about that, and they in the ones on the side they caught it about being brown or cat, but it was never caught on the mast arm part. Never specified.
So, if you have signs on the mast arms, why do you need signs on the corner?
You didn't.
They're smaller. You can't see them as easy. If you see it on the masthead, that's what the mast arm. That's what you're going to see.
Yeah, it was kind of redundant to do it at Oberlin and Andover and Putnam and Radiant. Those were redundant, you know.
Yeah.
And even at Hopewell and stuff like that, redundant. Now, Fields and Colonial, you know, yeah, you need them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think. But the others were all redundant.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, because there's no mast arm there.
Yeah.
yeah, I
But
would-
just the 2 blanks back to back like this, bolted through, and then the other one going the other way, you know, there's no connection between them. It just-
well, I mean,
I don't know.
I suppose if you
Probably
come up
specified in there.
Oberlin,
Yeah.
coming up Oberlin,
Yeah.
is
You don't
there-
know you're hitting
You don't
79.
know you're hitting 79 if you don't live there, I guess.
Yeah, but it's on the mast arm. There's a big sign.
Yeah, it's on the mast arm.
That's
Hebron
on face
Road.
Oberlin?
And it says 79 because it faces Andover the same way.
Wow.
Andover has a big
Says
one that says
Hebron Road.
79.
Yeah, it says Hebron Road,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Before we didn't have any signs, you can see, now we got all sorts.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. I saw the
You
brown
went for
signs.
overkill this time.
I mean, I like the fact that those are brown signs, and it's unfortunate the ones on the mast arms aren't. I understand we're going to correct that, but why do you even need them on the corner when you've got them right where you're looking
Is that
at
a
the
note
traffic
on
light?
that thing, too? I don't know.
I don't know. I think the mast arm's the extra thing, and I don't know
Is
how
that a
it was
NODOT
specified.
thing?
I don't know how it was specified, spec, but we probably spec'd at all the intersections
Yeah.
to have the new
Yeah.
signs, and
Well,
so they put them in.
We
not
had
thinking,
the wooden posts.
Yeah, so
Because
it's based
before you didn't need to have the things on the mast arms. So those wooden posts have been there for a long time.
Right.
Then the requirement came out that you needed them on the mast arms. Okay, fine. Once you got them on the mast arms, I don't think you need the corner street signs.
We got them now, though.
Yeah. If you don't know what street you're on, that's your own fault.
Next thing we do, we're going to put it on the road itself. You know how they do? They put the thing, tells you what lane to be in for the,
Yeah.
Put it in the road.
Since we're talking about signs, I'm not happy how the U-turns are. I would think that you'd have the U-turn signs above, so you know that you can make a U-turn from this lane instead of putting it way over here on the side,
Yeah, it should
where
be.
you don't even really notice it, and you may not even know.
Up by the traffic.
And then, what's going to stop people from making U-turns at Hopewell Drive? Just because there's not a sign there that says,
That's
it
right.
almost
They need a
should
no
say
U-turn
no
sign.
U-turn
Right.
sign there,
Yeah.
Yes.
and show where you can do a U-turn.
You know what,
on the
Bob, let's do this. Tomorrow, let's ask John Groff. Let's see, because I'm with you. I think right by the traffic signal is the best place.
Yeah,
for
that's
it.
where they should be.
Yeah, I mean, I understand on the side, that's where you have the thing. But I think at least for now, at least while it's new,
right.
up there by the traffic signal is the best place for it to be. If, as part of the project, and remember, they're not done with this, they're not done moving the light things, so I mean, things are not finalized yet by any means. If, as part of the final thing, if there's not some kind of signage there by the light, then let's just do that ourselves. Let's just make it happen. Because I agree, I think that a sign by that light saying, U-turn signal or the no U-turn sign or
There
whatever.
should be no U-turn down there at Hopewell.
Didn't John Groff say that they didn't want, that U-turns weren't legal yet?
No, they are.
They are.
They are
now?
They are.
Yeah. Once they cut that center trench in, they had it set up so that you can do U-turns. Now, I haven't seen many people do U-turns.
I've seen a few, but not many.
I do it every night. Just so
Do
I
ya?
can do it. Yeah, I do it every night just to do it. I go back to my mom's house, I do
Yeah.
it every night. But Friday night coming home, there was a tanker truck, with fuel in it.
Yeah.
And I was at Putnam waiting to come this way, okay? And he's in the left turn lane facing me, okay, this way. And he makes a U-turn. He's going back to Turkey Hill. So he makes a U-turn, and he just barely made it. And the only reason he made it is because since they're doing the median, he was over a little further and had just enough room for him to make a U-turn. Because originally, tanker trucks and
So, wait,
semis were supposed
so
to
he
do
was
U-turn.
heading northbound?
Yeah. He wanted to go right here to Turkey Hill.
Okay.
And
And
he
where
said,
was he?
He was right here. And
Oh,
because
okay.
they were working on this, he was like, they have the lane shifted over right
Yes.
now. So
Yeah.
he's right here, and he goes, and just made it. He was stopped for a little bit, and he was really cranking her and everything,
Uh-huh.
and he finally got it around and stuff. And I said, we're going to need to have something up there when it's all said and done, when he's right in this lane, there's no way he'd make it. And I'm afraid if you don't put something up there about semis not being able to, or something like that, or restricted to a certain size vehicle making this turn, you're going to have somebody go around. Because what's got people go to the motel here, like when it's Mopar time and stuff like that, and they have their trailers and stuff. They're going to come by here, and then they're going to come down here and try to make this. And if it's, I can see us
You aren't good.
having a cluster right there.
I thought that was all part of the original plan, was no semis or large.
Right, but there's nothing
Yeah,
that says
but
you
if
can't.
you
How do you know
got
you
a
can't?
sign-
If I'm a Zuma driver and I got to get over to that side of the road.
You can't trust anybody to do the right
Yeah.
thing.
Do that or not.
But I think what Tim's saying is that if you have a semi driver who thinks they can do it, who
Right.
thinks they're capable of making it, and then they
What I think they're going to do is make a wide right turn. They'll take up both lanes,
Yeah.
the left turn lane and the straight through lane,
yeah.
and hedge over, and then
To
like
get,
they
to
do on
get
big
more of
wide-
an angle.
You know the sign that says "I make wide right turns." It's also going to make
Yeah.
wide left
Really?
U-turns.
What is the
Just get
sign
out of my
going
way.
About you,
Okay,
turn?
anything else?
Is there
They're
something that just says
actually-
no trucks?
No,
We're not, that wasn't part of the plan?
I don't think so.
I don't think it was.
I've never seen a sign that says trucks, no U-turn.
I haven't either.
I've
Yeah,
never.
we looked today. We looked at me and the traffic guy Nork looked today to try to find one. There isn't one. There isn't. We could take this red circle with a thing, go and put a truck and a U on it.
They'll get used to this, and they'll figure.
Custom made, I
A
can
tanker
tell.
will try it, and he'll get. If he doesn't make it, he'll forever know to remember that. Hey, boy, that was a mess. I should have never
They'll
tried
spread
that.
the word. They'll say, hey, man, don't make
It
that
won't. You're
turn
right.
there, 'cause
You're
not gonna
right.
make it.
We don't need to sign it.
All right, next on the agenda.
I'm not done with that.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, so what's the time frame on when we get the bids then?
When they're supposed to be turned in.
They were
and
supposed to
we
be
may not
turned
get
in
those
today.
signs. Yeah,
Oh, today?
Turn in today.
And they were given 60 days this time to get them done,
Yeah, they didn't give me enough time last
Yeah.
time to get them all done.
but it was supposed to be turned in today by
We may not
11:30.
get
So
them until like October.
Tuesday, July 17th.
that's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
At 11:30 a.m.
60 days complete.
Why is it
When
Monday?
does what are the stipulations, Bob, as far as the CDBG grant when the money has to be spent? Are we pushing the edge of that envelope, or
No,
are
I
we
mean,
okay?
we just gotta have them up this year, so we're gonna get them,
Okay.
I guess, I don't know, late
Well, we don't even
September,
have to have them up,
October.
right? We just need to have them bought,
Yeah,
right?
it'll be through them, so.
Okay.
There, I mean, that's something we don't have to me, we don't have to worry about, it's the county's job. They work with us to get it, but it's up to them to do the bidding and all that stuff, we don't do any of the administrative.
They have to be up by January 1st.
Probably by the end of the year, but it's,
December 31st.
hopefully, get them done when the weather.
All right. Okay.
The other thing with 79, I don't have it on the agenda. But
I'm not sure the ground could be any harder than what it is right now.
I
Even if
know.
it was frozen. I don't know that it could be any
May
harder.
have to wet stuff down. But what are we going to do, and I know it's probably been discussed some, with a medium where there's going to be ground cover, dirt, grass, trees, mulch, whatever. Are we subbing that out, or how are we going to take care of that? Or I'm not even sure what the materials that are going to be in there. Is there going to be grass in there? I'm even hearing that. That's what I heard the other day, that where the tree, maybe I don't know where the trees are, they're going to put dirt, but then in between they're really not going to put much dirt. I mean, is it going to be?
Let's talk to John. If we don't know, let's talk to John.
If you look at that plant list on the bid thing, there's like a ton of plant material that goes in. I mean, and pricey and stuff. So I don't know where they're going to fit it all. I mean, but
I think
there
they're.
was-
Well, remember too.
I think it's going to be mostly mulch and plant. I don't think it's going to be like grass you have to mow. I think it's
remember
going to be mulch and
the
mulch
section
and,
up on the north side too was going to have an island, but we're not doing that part. So I don't know if we necessarily are going to get as much as we did.
Yeah.
I think October. John told me today that October is when they're looking to do the plantings. For some reason, that's the best time to plant that stuff.
Yeah.
So October is the time that now the project should be done well in advance of that, but October is when they're looking to do the plant.
Well, my only recommendation, I said a long time ago, and I've tried to say it as we go through this, it should look as perfect as we can make it. And if that means that we're not able to maintain it and make it look as good as what we want, then we need to get somebody that we're going to sub it out to that's going to make it perfect. Because you don't want weeds growing up in there. You don't want things looking bad. You want it to look as nice as possible as you can. You know, that we got, in my opinion, we got too many areas on 79 that don't look very good right now. And nobody's doing anything about it. And I think some of the property maintenance on 79 is horrendous. Some people don't mow, they don't care. And we put this in, we got to be an example that, you know, this is going to be nice and we're going to keep it nice. I think that's how we should do it. Now, whether we can do it or not, I think it's gonna be tough.
Chief, why don't you mention what you showed me last week from, was it New Albany?
Yeah.
I like how New Albany, just when you go down 161, how they're, you know, when you can tell you're in New Albany because they mow their median so nice, you know. I think it looks quite brown right now.
There was talk about not having grass because we didn't want to put anybody out in there.
I think that's probably the best picture. That's in downtown New Albany, it's what they call Old New Albany.
That is pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Who waters those?
I don't know the answer, but somebody's gotta do it daily
I'll
in
tell you,
this temperature.
they've got a small
Worthington, they do that
utility trailer that's got a tank on it.
Just
And
touch
this
the
guy
screen
rides
every
along
once in a while.
and he waters those things. I've
That's how
seen
they're
them
doing it. They got, you know, like a gator or one with a water tank up to it.
Mr.
But I
Webster
don't
wants
think
to.
you're talking about the rate of traffic like we have out here on 79.
No, that's
true.
It's got an automatic watering system. The drip is each one.
Wouldn't that look good down the middle of our road? Man.
My neighbor said that he was out on 79 for his last week or
Automatic
sometime
water.
on the weekend, maybe the weekend before, and someone drove into that trench, tried to
People
turn,
drive
and
by,
just
they roll the
drove right
windows
down
down, they
into
serve
it.
extra.
I heard
Caribou
a couple
coffee, they
people
throw a
that
little
did
bit
that.
out.
Nick, did you,
Come on,
for some
Jerry,
reason,
clean
take
it.
through the line of barrels and tried to turn?
Alright.
I think Chris May will probably take care of that X section in front of Dairy Queen if you ask him.
Yeah,
Right
you
there for
probably
nothing.
would.
Dynamite. Bulldozer.
The next thing on the agenda, I think we beat that dead horse. Willow Ridge paving, I would like to start that. The mayor and I have talked about things with Willow Ridge that we found out. First of all, we've been getting complaints from the residents, and I think I brought that up, that when you're gonna pave Willow Ridge. And it is in pretty bad, it's in pretty bad shape. I've had Joseph Henderson give us some proposals, and one of the proposals is for $9,650, and they will inspect the subdivision streets with street department crews, gather information on historic problem areas, discuss pavement conditions, and propose improvements and drainage issues. Joseph Henderson will mark the red flag areas on an aerial map for project planning. Joseph Henderson will compile a matrix of the roadway and drainage issues with potential solutions. Joseph Henderson will prepare a cost estimate for roadway and drainage improvements. And that would help us with our license plate tax money that we're trying to save. I'm trying to save $300,000 to be able to do this project. And that's from money we have left over, money we have this year, and money we have coming in 2013. Joseph Henderson will play a matrix of the roadway drainage issues with potential solutions. And then they will, of course, attend the meeting. The mayor and I have had discussions about it. There's some thought that maybe the street guys can do it. I'm not really for that. My recommendation would be more than have Joe's participate in this, only because if there are drainage issues or there are issues with the base of the road that we don't recognize or think that we should do, then it's going to be 100% on us, and I don't feel real comfortable with that. I would like Joseph Henderson to participate on that, but I would like to be able to get them hired, and I would like to be able to do a $9,650. But with this proposal, it does not include any construction plans, so what they usually do is do a bid book, what they normally do, and then we follow that, and we send that out for the bids. But if this is going to be a little bit more complicated than just paving a street, then I don't know how comfortable we would be to do our own specs for that type of project. So,
Well, let me ask you this, Bob. If all we have to work with next year is money from the license plate tax. It costs $300,000. Now, granted, I know we were also doing curbs in Wedgewood, but it costs $300,000 to pave and curb Wedgewood. If all we have to work with is $300,000, what more could we do in Willow Ridge other than just pave? And how could we address any drainage issues?
Well, I don't think it cost $300,000. They gave us, and I don't have it with me, but they gave us 3 or 4 different estimates at one time. They kind of threw some ballpark figures at us.
I thought I remembered one being bare bones basics at like $250 to $275.
One of them was like over $1 million, but that might have been curbs and gutters and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
That's
The one that I remember being just bare bones was between $250 to $275. Am I thinking correctly?
But I think that had some, that wasn't just paving, because we paid Forest Hills. I'm trying to think what we paid. I mean, that wasn't, I mean, we did all Forest Hills for less than, what? Less than 100,000, I think. I'd have to look again. But I think if we just went in there and had to pave it, it wouldn't be 300,000.
That was a grant program, Forest Hills was, right? So was that just what the city paid, or was that the total cost?
No.
They paid that whole thing for $100,000?
Well, I don't know. I said I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I know. I said it's like I don't know, but I don't think it wasn't anywhere near 300,000 just to pave Forest Hills. I think that 250, 300,000 you had some repair work in it. I'll have to look again, but we're not going to know unless they do some kind of cost estimate, and I'm not real happy with just doing that with the guys that I have. I'd like to have an engineer look at this stuff, because they might dig something up, repair something, and there could be a major problem. And I just don't want to put the city liability-wise on something like that. This could be big. Now maybe it won't be so bad. You know, they were going to do some borings and to see some things. Street department guys can help them, and that's included in this price. But to be comfortable with it, I think that it's something that we should be able to do. Because it's going to be a big project, and it's something because of the water problems up there and how the residents up there have changed it, that the water goes over top of the roads in some places. And I don't know if there's a solution to some of those or not. So.
What the? Hi, can I help you?
How are you today?
I'm fine.
Hot outside.
Yes, it is. Oh, okay. Well, I guess. I mean, I guess, Bob, what I'm trying to do is I want to make sure, to the greatest extent that we can, that the dollars that we spend are actually spent on doing, fixing the problem or doing something, or I don't. If our personnel can tell us something for free, I'd rather do that as opposed to pay somebody. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I don't know how. I mean, they're not engineers, and if there are drainage problems where we have to run drainage pipe, are we the ones making those decisions?
I really believe it. You've seen that area, how the upper part's pretty well taken care of, their drainage, but they put it down to where a lot of places it just goes across the road right there. And what's going to have to be done to.
Well, in that whole area, I think it's full of natural springs too that cause problems.
Oh yeah.
And see, there might be some things they find to eliminate that or direct that water someplace else so we don't continue to have those problems. What they're doing now is just trying to get through so the road doesn't cave in during the wintertime. That's what they're doing up there right now. I'm talking to Dave. He's digging out some areas, and it's just they don't want that road to collapse during the wintertime. But I think we have some major issues up there, and I don't feel real confident that we might be able to diagnose every one of those, where if we have Jobs to work with, at least someone has to answer to us on something. I feel a little bit better that way. And I would like to get a cost estimate to see where we stand, what it's gonna cost or how much we can do. I mean, or how extensive can these repairs be if we do. I'd like to go up there, I would like to go up there and do it as right as what we can, so we don't have to go back and do again. That's kind of how I would do Wedgewood, I know it's expensive to do Wedgewood, but we came out of there with a good product. I think it looks nice, and we shouldn't have to worry about that for a long time. And it'd be nice not to have to go to Willow Ridge the same way. I think those people have been pretty patient with us up there. I have gotten numerous phone calls. So, but that's, we recognize the problem before I start getting the calls. So. Now, it's possible that most of this, or some of it, could come out of my budget. So it wouldn't have to be money appropriate. I think I looked today and I got around 10,000 in engineering. Now that would take it for the rest of the year, but I'm somewhere in there, or maybe it could be split between the two if we did it. But I would like to get an estimate so we know what we're going to spend up there and have an idea, and start talking about it. So when the time comes, we're ready to go, and we might be able to hit it first thing in April or May. Be ready to go.
Do you have a legislative request for that?
No, because if we take it out, we end up taking it out of it. I just want to get it turning now, and then next, if it has to be legislative requests to come out of my budget or to come for capital improvements, then we'll do that. Or I don't know if the tax would pay for, I would assume it'll pay for engineering. You could take it out of the progressive tax. But then I can just get the ball rolling a bit.
That's what very much.
But I have
Sooner
to be
the
able
better,
to.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, while the weather's good, we can go out there and see what's going on now. Right now, it's gonna be a little bit dry.
But you feel that you've got the money to actually.
Well, I looked today, it was around 10,000. I thought I had left in my budget. So.
That way, you wouldn't need the legislative.
Unless we
to pay
see
that.
some other projects that we're gonna have to do. I could, try and negotiate. I guess the whole point of the discussion is I would rather have engineers design that than us in that. Summit Street, we did that ourselves. So we did say, and we're looking at things like that. But if there's going to be some drainage issues, and I'm not quite sure, I would be more confident if at least the Jobs engineers were involved with us.
I understand.
So is it okay to proceed? I won't spend any money yet, but I'll start to proceed and get things going, and then the next meeting I would have a legislative request if I need money for that engineering, or if I don't, then I'll just let you know what I'm doing. All right. That's all I have, unless somebody has other items.
I just, the one question I asked you earlier about, when do you think they'll start, doing something?
That, it'll be on their timetable, the township. I'll talk to Dave tomorrow about it, and hopefully, I don't know if they were planning on doing theirs at the same time they were doing ours, or if they were gonna do theirs, so. I'll talk to Dave about that tomorrow.
Hey Bob, I just want to mention, I think that that Friday night that we had the storm, I think that the street department guys did a really good job of getting the streets and the roadways cleared of debris so that traffic could at least, be able to drive unimpeded on the streets. I know that they, I think it was 2 o'clock when we left there, so it was about, had it been less than 9 or 10 hours after the storm hit, and they had cleared up everything.
Right.
I know that we got some help from citizens too,
Right.
you know, clearing areas, but I know that they, you know, they got in, got to work, and I thought they did a really good job of clearing the streets and the roads.
What they, I mean, and when they come in, they're trying to get them clear so the traffic can by, and they sometimes just gotta throw stuff off to the side, and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
But boy, you go up there at Franklin, and I did see, maybe you guys saw is it future CDBG projects on fixing by WCLT Hill where it's all that stuff. I mean, maybe all those trees will finally get eliminated up there, because that's a mess. I mean,
You're
that's
talking
always
about
a
the
big
guardrail work?
guardrail, and I thought embankment and
Yeah.
all that stuff is maybe it's a
It's an ODOT project.
Next year.
ODOT, yeah.
They were gonna do it this year, but since we closed all the other bridges, they kept it
Yeah,
open.
that's next year.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's always a problem.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you go by there now, you still see trees that are leaning over. You're thinking, okay, well, the next storm, is this the one that's gonna be the one to fall?
I appreciate that, though.
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job that night.
If nothing else, we'll return at 6:07.
Maybe.
We will call Parks, Recreation, and Davis J to order at 6:07.
Alright, kind of repeat, there's a store damage report from the parks, and again, I put everything in that I could think of. The parks man hours, and we're still working, as of today, we were still chipping things. Our man hours have been $2,482, just for our man hours. Things from the pool, and $20,000 of this is an estimate of lost revenue, because prior couple days to the storm, we were bringing in around 10,000 a day gross. So these were 100-degree days. With the 2 days we were closed, we probably lost close to $20,000 in gross revenue from the pool. So the total pool cost that we have is $35,600 just from the pool, or 4 umbrellas, $1,600 a piece, got ripped and torn, they have to be repaired. The shade shelter, which was $4,000. So between those two things, it's over $10,000 in just damage from that. The chemicals we had to buy to hand feed our pool to keep it. Thank goodness that Mr. Mitchell was still around to help us, because we could keep the pool water good, even though our pumps weren't running, because we could hand feed it. Phil had done that in the past. So a lot of these were chemicals. We lost 4 trees, and those are trees in the parking lot, like dogwoods and things like that. Of course, we did the generator. We moved a lot of the food from the pool to the Shea house to save some of the food, and we had a generator inside the pool that we were running. Didn't lose, so really in reality, we didn't lose much food from it. I mean, we acted pretty quick. Craig called me right away, and we came up, that's like, let's just try to move as much as we can to the Shea house, because they have a generator and they had freezers. So that worked out pretty good for us. We had another $2,400 in man hours at the pool, and a lot of that was debris. I'll just bring it up here, because I keep forgetting to say something, but on the Kaiser side of the fence, there's a fence on the west side of the pool, and it's the Kaiser side, and there's a lot of trees there, and of course those trees fall on that fence and fall into our property, which nobody from Kaiser, I don't think, has ever come and cleaned anything up ever. Plus the leaves from those cottonwoods, and the cotton itself is a horrible thing for the swimming pool. It's a bad thing, and that's where almost all of them come from, is that Kaiser side over there. It'd be great if they could ever eliminate those trees. That would be a great thing for a pool, if that could ever happen. I don't know if we have the nice talks with them sometime, maybe that could be a possibility.
Okay.
But the debris from the leaves, the lazy river was about green just from the leaves coming off the pool, and that takes, and you can't run anything, so you can't move the water, so you're basically having a million kids in there picking up leaves and getting them out of the pool. So that took a long time, and then of course all the other pools were full of leaves too, so that took a lot of time to get that stuff out of the pool, and then just the stuff that got blown over, you can fix that, but it was basically the leaves and stuff from the storm that caused us some of those problems at the pool. Hill Electric had to come in, though. I had $500 on the bill, and the bill came today, it was only $140, so that's good. But when the electric came back on, we only got 2 phases of the 3-phase on at the pool. I happened to be there with Craig. It was like at 9 or 10 o'clock Sunday night, and if you turn anything on without full power, it can burn your pumps up. So we waited, and we had Hiddle come and check everything out just to make sure. And then he said, "Now you only got 2 legs on. You got to wait for the third." And then the next day, when City Hall got on and stuff, we got the 3rd leg. Everything was fine. So we had them come out and check because we didn't want them to do anything. So again, the total cost of the pool was $35,000. Did I give you? I didn't give you one. I wanted to give you one. That way you have to write all that. I just want to see if she was going to write it. And then the David Shea house, I think that the last storm we had, they got hit really hard. Well, we might have $910 in damage, so that's pretty good. We lost some shingles, and they have to do a little bit of roof repair, and there was a tree that got knocked down. But other than that, I guess everything they have put back together was held together, so that's been a good thing. Equipment and fuel at the parks and pool was around $1,600, and that was for chainsaws, chipper dump trucks, and all the trucks. So that is a total cost of $40,561.08. But again, $20,000 of that I put in for lost revenue just in case we can get that. I know the tornado at the Shea house got paid through the insurance for lost revenue, so I just put it in there to see. It was kind of a devastating storm, so.
Do you have any questions on the storm damage?
I have a pool report through Sunday. Keith and I, some of our figures aren't right from 2011. We don't jive totally, but it's just a comparison. So I wouldn't worry about the comparison so much. It'll be more about how we're doing this year, I think. And these are just figures that I have. I think the membership figures are through the end of June, sometime in there. So, well, some in July, because I get those figures from City Hall. Keith might have more up-to-date figures on those, but this will give you an idea of the expenses. As you can see, the memberships, the figures that I have are pretty close to what they were last year. The first column is 2012, the second column is 2011. The memberships are up some. I think Keith might have it. We're up a little bit more than that. Off the top of your head, Keith, mine aren't totally, but we're I think we had maybe 190,000 last year, and all. So we're staying where we are, and it's good. It's good. The walk-ins are up. Keith had the walk-ins a little bit less in 2011 than I had, but our walk-ins so far, this was through Sunday at 151,000. If we hadn't had the storm, you might add another 13,000 onto there easy. So we would be over 30,000 higher than we were the year before. So that's good. Our concession is up 6,000. We probably lost $3,000 alone on those 2 days. A good day we bring in 1,500 to over $1,500 a day in concessions, so that would be over 40. We ran the pool. The biggest difference this year is the swim lessons money. The Red Cross has changed how they do the swim lessons now, and the city takes in all the money for swim lessons, but we have to pay the expenses. So that's one of my budget items that I'll be in the hole in because we didn't budget for that. And but we will make more money in the end net-wise than we did the years before. So I think that's going to be a good thing. I think Red Cross just wanted to get out of that.
What would some of the costs be?
Paying the instructors, manuals, all that. So a total income as of now of $387,000. That's $26,000 over last year. Like I said, those figures could be a little, and 11 could be a little off, but I think we're looking at more of 2012. The expenses that I haven't gotten our last payroll, so that's way off. But you can just assume that our part-time expenses will be at least what it was in 2011 at almost 65,000 or more. So, but I just haven't gotten that from Linda yet. So that'll be the big difference on these expenses. I think everything else is pretty the same. The chemicals seem like they're running a little higher this year. Our concession expense is higher only because we're selling probably more items. We did have some repair work early in the year with independent service contracts. Machine equipment repairs, maybe $1,500 more. But of course we had some other expenses last year. We are still trying to determine the water level in the activity pool for whatever reason right now has leveled off, and it seems like we're not losing as much as we were. So that's good news. I hope if that could stay that way, that would be great. So right now we have a net income of $311,000. Again, remember the debt service comes out of that, which is, what's that now, Keith? 135, 140, something like that, or
I don't remember.
somewhere in that area. So we're ahead of last year, which is good. Hopefully we can keep that up. It'd be great if we could bring in about $550,000 for the year, or it could be take our own project, 525 or 530, somewhere in that area. And but the minimum wage is, we'll have to see what that's going to affect us without a doubt. Yeah.
Why is there such a difference in the electricity expense?
Because I haven't gotten
Okay.
this month.
Okay.
Gas, electric would be everything Linda gives me for the month of June. I haven't received it yet. But that'll be up there too.
Okay.
Though the gas prices have went down.
It's been a while. From my memory, it looks like concession income is up markedly over both these years over what they were in years past.
Well, I don't think we're still up to what we used to be, but it's gotten higher. They've made an effort to try to do a better job.
I mean, these are impressive numbers from what I can recall a few years back.
Any other questions on the pool expense income report?
Okay. I'm gonna be like Jan Wilkin, I have another handout for you. I better take one. Brought this up on our last meeting, but last month, and we talked about the membership trailer. And I asked Ann, what do you like about the membership trailer? How has it helped us? So, I'll say these real quick, but you can look at them with me. The patrons purchase the memberships before they enter the facility, before they had to go inside the facility. And sometimes you weren't sure, it was a little congested in there, so now you have to pay for your membership before you walk in. Memberships entered in the computer system before new members can enter the facility, so our attendance is more accurate. So when you go buy your membership, you're already in the system now before you even get to the front gate, and that's walking 30 steps and you're already in the system. So that's been a great thing for us with this trailer. Pictures are taken in the trailer. You know, we've had problems of people saying there's somebody else. Maybe we don't have the pictures. The pictures are taken in the trailer, so we have a better idea of all the pictures that are in the memberships now. Pictures are better quality. Members appreciate being able to purchase memberships in an air-conditioned trailer. I think the employees enjoy working in an air-conditioned trailer on top of that. The trailer is less congested than selling memberships inside the building. The swim team seemed to purchase their memberships more quickly and efficiently this year. We've had trouble getting all that membership money in at times because they have to come to City Hall and select hours. Maybe they can come in Saturday and Sunday when we're there, or in the evenings and pay, so it makes it quicker on that. There are fewer problems overall because we enter the members' information immediately after they make their purchases, so we did not have as many misspelled info or incorrect info on the computer. On busy days, we actually check members into the trailer to help alleviate the long lines out front. If the trailer was set up pre-season, which we talked about this year, but we didn't do it, next summer we could actually sell memberships from the trailer before the pool opens. So that might be a good thing to do here, especially on the weekends when City Hall isn't open. The trailer houses our security camera screen. So all the money that's taken in, we have cameras, Keith set us up with the video security camera, I think that's the name of that place. We have it in the trailer, and we have it in the office area and at the front gate right now. If necessary, we could count our money in the trailer. Currently used for memberships only. Overall, the membership sales have been seamless this year, which is, if you can go through transactions and make it as easy as possible, that's a wonderful thing. So I think these are all the things that this trailer has afforded us to do this year and made our life a lot easier. For $5,800, we can purchase that trailer. We won't have to, if we don't purchase a trailer, they take the trailer back, and then we have to take a lot of the stuff out of it, but we'd have to take all the wiring out of it and then rewire it again next year because we have it all set up. For $5,800 and the convenience that we have and the luxury it gave us and the peace of mind, I think, for Ann, and I think it would be a wonderful thing to be able to purchase this trailer and just keep it on site and use it for that purpose. And there might be some other things we might be able to use it for, eventually, but we could sell memberships out of it earlier in the year. That would be a wonderful thing. What's that?
How did it survive the storm?
Good.
I didn't attest nothing.
Nothing happened. I mean, it's dropped down good. We'll get the steps and everything with it. I think it would be a great thing. But Ann seemed to be, Ann has given us, Ann is on top of things really good. She's a great administrator. And she was really involved in this membership, and she set it up good, and we provided a trailer for her, and it's really worked out good for her. And then the concession stands is really helpful with that too. So I think it'd be a great purchase just to keep the trailer here. We don't have to pay a rental fee, which is $200 or $300 a month, and then there's all these little accessories that you don't quite know about until you get it. But for $5,800, I think it would be a great thing. So we'll have a legislative request for that.
Don't take me wrong. I think it's great, but I just had a question. Are we zoned for a trailer? If we have a trailer here and then some business down the street says, well, hey, I'm going to put a similar trailer in and use it.
I think we call it a temporary mobile unit.
What's the law, man?
I don't know.
What's the law, man?
I don't know. I just walked in.
It's a zoning question.
Yeah, that'd be a question for John.
I hate to put damper on it, but it was just something I thought of.
So you got a concession trailer in there already that
Yeah.
you're using and used for
Nobody's
years.
complained about that.
And this is within the capital improvements budget, so we're not looking to appropriate money from anywhere else, right?
It would come out of capital improvement. It wasn't listed in capital improvement.
No, we didn't know. I was a little skeptical, I think, as far as what the effectiveness of this trailer would be. And I think that it's exceeded what we all thought it would do for us in the way of making the membership purchasing process easier for, I think, not only the people who come to the pool, but also the staff members there at the pool. And had we really understood just how great of a thing it was going to be, we probably would have asked to purchase it right up front. But we just didn't know. And like I said, it's proven to be beyond, what we thought. Something I think is worth us continuing to utilize year after year.
Any other questions or concerns about the stick?
Will it last longer than 5 years, Bob? I hope so. It should.
Okay.
I think the whole thing was redone before we got it.
Any other items? Anyone else have anything under other items for Parks, Recreation, or Dana Shea? Hearing none, we will adjourn at 6:27.
Excuse me.
Oh, yes.
I've come to ask the council to possibly provide service for MRDD challenged individuals. They attend, the ones that I am speaking for attend Sparks. If you all are familiar with Sparks, it's an agency that's downtown. It's like a daycare center for these individuals. And these individuals are on SSI. They do not have jobs in the community. Biggest majority of them cannot read, cannot write. They go there from 10 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and they do different activities. They have come to the swimming pool. And these individuals, it's a bit steep for them to afford to pay $9 for, say, 2 hours that they come. If there could be possibly something done that they could come in on a discounted card of some sort, or something could be provided for Sparks and these individuals. Sparks brings them in their own transportation and brings them home. They cannot swim, so they have to have supervision, and the staff comes with them to watch over. And they would like to come more frequently than once a month. They just came last month, and they're coming this month again. And I'm here to see possibly something could be adjusted for their being able to participate in the pool.
How, I'm sorry, ma'am, what's your name, please?
I'm sorry, my name's Rebecca Swartz.
Okay.
SWARTZ. This is my daughter, Terry Lynn Swartz. She enjoys coming to the pool. Actually, I used to bring my grandchildren, and they've done the bucket on me. So, that was a good thing back then. Of course, now they're in college, so that was a long time ago. But Terry enjoys going, and I'm here representing her also.
Okay. How often do the folks in the Sparks program come to the water park?
They just came last month, which was one day last month.
Is that the first time that they have been here?
That was the first time that they have come.
Okay.
And then they're y'all scheduled to come next week? Tomorrow. And then they came a week ago.
Okay. All right.
How many come?
They have about 30, but not all of them come. Just the ones who want to participate.
There are 30 in the program?
Yes.
Okay.
30 in the program. Not everybody comes to me.
Okay. And then the staff there with the Sparks program, each
time
person
it might
has
alternate the amount of individuals that's coming.
Okay. And then for each individual who comes that's in the program, there's a staff member that's with that person, is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And how often did you say that they stay?
None of them are coming who cannot handle being in the pool. I mean, they're quite cautious on that.
Okay. How long of a period of time do they stay in a day when they come?
Well, last month they brought their own lunch, or they could buy if they wanted to. They can't partake in both buying and at the $9 fee.
Okay.
And they're not here all day long, all afternoon. They're here for maybe 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours the most.
Okay.
If that long, but most of 2.
Is the program something where like maybe it's an 8 to 5 kind of thing? Is that what
No. They go from 10 in the morning till 3 is when they go home.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's just 5 hours.
So then, yeah, even if they got here at noon, they would be.
And by
probably
the
have
time
to leave by about 2 so that they can
By the
get back
time they
in
would
time.
come here, it would be after they go in at 10, then everybody gets shuffled around, make sure they got their suit on and this sort of thing. So you're probably talking about an hour and a half to 2 hours getting ready to get here.
Yeah.
It's not very long.
Okay. I don't think we have any kind of a program in place right now that I can even think of that would be comparable. Any kind of a separate rate or anything like that.
Right now, we have no special rates. The only thing that we have for daycare centers that, like for the instructors to come and watch the kids, we would have a pass.
These aren't kids.
No, I'm saying this is what we have now. I'm saying that, well, you said you had supervision that came with it, right? Well, supervision right now has to pay each $9 to come in. Right?
That comes out of the budget of Sparks.
I know, but you have to pay.
I'm speaking for the individuals that receive SSI.
Okay, but what I'm saying is right now, the kids would have to pay, but the instructors get a card and you can have like 3 or 4 instructors come on that one card so they all don't have to pay. That's the only thing that we have right now.
That would be separate from just a one person, one rate structure.
But I think the last, for whatever reason, Butch took the pool rates off the codified ordinances. I don't think they're on there anymore. And I think that those changes can be made if you want to make any changes through policy, if you want to make any changes. I think that is open now. We'd have to look at what that is, but I don't think I think it's something you would tell council what you're going to do, but council doesn't have to vote on it anymore.
It's like the rates. Right. Let me ask you this question. And I apologize for my lack of knowledge of the Sparks program.
It's been in existence 3 years.
Okay. Is it does it receive funding from the county?
Medicaid?
They get government funding.
Okay.
Waivers,
Federal?
Waivers through the MRDD program.
Okay.
Licking County.
Okay.
These individuals are like 30, 40, 50. Terry just turned 50 Saturday, so these are older individuals. They're not children. They've completed the Starlight program, which no longer exists, but are now they don't have jobs out of the workshop. There's no jobs available for these individuals who she would like to really get a job. If you are looking for somebody to hire, here she is. She's very good on working. You can depend on her, and she's on time. Always there.
Did she participate at LICO as well? Or?
She did,
She did?
but there's no job available at the time. She's looking for work, but she attends Sparks just to give her something to do.
Sure.
Ma'am, could I ask what the Sparks, does that stand for something, or
Is it an acronym?
Well, I could not tell you that.
We can probably
They
look
have
that up.
opened up one in Pataskala, Sparks. They have opened up one down in Athens, Ohio, and they're doing quite successful. These individuals, they do activities. If
Are
they're not
these-
painting and drawing, they're going to the zoo, or they're going swimming, or
Okay.
going to horses, or whatever, fairs, or.
Is the Sparks program, and I'm asking you these questions because in my mind, I'm trying to figure out where delineations could be for any type of a potential program like what Bob's talking. So that's why I'm asking you some of these probing questions about what Sparks is. Is Sparks a nonprofit organization? Can individuals donate to Sparks?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Is that donation tax deductible then, do you know?
Absolutely.
It is?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that it receives,
Well, I was wondering about Medicaid, because it depends on, you know, like some of these things. receive
Medicaid would not cover anything like
It
this.
wouldn't?
This is not going to be an order from the doctor.
okay,
No, it has to be something medically that they would come here for the.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you pay money to Sparks for her to participate in the
No,
program?
she receives a waiver through the
Okay.
MRDD program, which comes from the government.
Okay, would that be county level?
And
That, do
that's-
you have any idea?
It
It's just
probably is,
minimal.
but
It's just
yeah,
minimal.
I would imagine.
I mean, if it's
not through
MRDD,
RAC.
that's somehow with the county,
Mhm.
right? I mean,
Yeah,
that
the
wouldn't come
county
straight
board.
from the state or straight
I
from.
wouldn't
No,
think
that's
so.
the
I think it
county.
comes from the county.
Okay.
The government, the state goes to the county, and then the county distributes
Okay.
to these individuals.
Because Rebecca, what I'm thinking is that, and I appreciate you bringing this topic up to us tonight. What I'm thinking is that if we were to somehow structure something in the future for a program like Sparks, you know, one that's similar to Sparks, it would be important for us to be able to set the parameters of what type of a group would qualify for this type of a program, what type wouldn't. And that's why having an understanding of this program, and I would imagine there are probably others that might be similar to it, you know, would be helpful. I know that I've heard from a couple of other different types of programs that you know that would like to have considerations or passes or something of that sort.
Yes.
And it's one of those things where you can't say yes to one and then turn around and say no to another.
I respect that.
So I think that's why it would be important for us to try to understand you know, what type of program this is, what other types of programs are there in the area who would maybe also benefit by a program like this, but then also understanding that we're not then just opening it up to everybody and everything. You know, that there's some sort of a criteria, some sort of a maybe purpose for what the program does or who the program helps, that type of thing. So, I mean, I think there'd be some homework for us to do on putting together a program like this. You don't happen to know who the director of that program
It's
is?
Shelley Laney, SHELLEYLANEY.
Do you have a contact phone number for Shelley? If I look it up in the phone book, would I find an office number?
Sparks is listed in the phone book,
Yeah?
yes.
Okay.
And yes, and the director that is at this Sparks is called, her name is Hannah Watson. HANNAWATS.
Hannah is the director for the Sparks program here in Newark.
She's Hannah, yes, the one here in Newark.
Okay.
Shelley began all the three agencies.
Okay. Okay.
I might
Hannah's
say,
more day to day here then.
yes,
Okay.
yes, she's daily here.
All right.
Terry was given a Buckeye card when she was 14 by Governor Celeste at that time,
Okay.
because she had put in X amount of hours in Goodwill. And so the individuals who had put in so many hours were given a Buckeye card. So I did call the pool to see if that could be used at this time. She's classified as a senior. She's heading into being a senior, but she has been able to use that card that was given to her through all the years.
Okay.
And there's others that have Buckeye cards. I'm not familiar with who everybody is, but
Okay. All right.
Do you also utilize the Hollander pool?
Yeah,
No,
do you know the
no.
Sparks? No?
no. They were coming here because of the deepness of them. They could walk around the pool.
Zero entry.
Terry said they were just walking around getting exercise, and where it's not so deep. You can't do that in the Hollander.
Maybe in the lazy river
Yeah.
too that we have.
Yes, they were having fun with that.
Yeah.
And the bucket. They were having a big time with the bucket.
Yeah.
Yes, they were.
Both of those have zero entry.
Yeah, I was-
Zero grade entry. You can just walk right in
Yeah,
without having
yeah.
to go down any ladder or jump into. Yeah.
Yes, it is much easier for them.
Okay.
Mark, if you want, I can contact DD and see, about the funding and maybe
Yeah.
there's some expansion of the funding that would help to
Yeah.
accommodate, I don't know, that's probably the
Help
option.
maybe reimburse them some.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll check and see how it's funded. And
Okay.
Or a card, or, I know y'all could make the decision this evening, but
Yeah.
I wanted to come and bring it up to your attention.
No, and I appreciate you doing that, Rebecca, because that's like I
I'm
said,
not
we're
only
gonna have some
speaking for-
homework to do.
I'm speaking for the others too, so
I
when I
understand.
told them what I was going to do, they all jumped on the gun and was quite excited about it.
Good. Good. Well, thank you. Did you have anything else then on that topic?
No, that's
Okay.
what I mainly came for.
Do you
Thank
have
you
a,
very much.
do you have a number that the mayor would, get in touch with you?
Oh, sure, you wanna get in touch with me?
Yes, please.
345-3348,
Rebecca, what was your last name again, please?
SWARTZ.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
We adjourned already once, I didn't think we need to adjourn again.
we'll adjourn again at 6:42 if you want to.
Ready to move forward with finance, or do we need a break?
Okay, go ahead, go.
Brandon, got a copy? Yep. Move down, okay. First item, resolution declaring intent on the Franklin Avenue Waterline Project. Waive the second, that's on the agenda for tonight. Comments, questions, committee? Okay,
I know we got a notice to proceed on that. John Keller let me know that earlier today.
no comments? All right, item 2, declare a surplus one worn out hose pressure tester for the fire department. Which discussed at safety committee last week. Comments? Okay.
Okay.
Third item, appropriate $224.99 to reimburse Sergeant Black's uniform allowance. That also was in safety committee last week. Comments, questions? All right. Fourth item, appropriate a $300 donation from Newark Eagle Club. Questions, comments?
Thank you to the Newark Eagle Club for that.
Thank you, Newark Eagles. That's on the agenda. Fifth item, appropriate $1,474 for a computer and audio visual video system to monitor the police department reception area. Comments, questions? We have more than one bid on that, or was that? We got one vendor on that?
I thought it was just that one. I think it was just one. It's what I.
Comments?
You have one to be compatible with it, or together.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Legislative request for pool membership trailer. Comments? Questions? Committee is okay with that one. Other items? Auditor Alexander.
In the process of doing a review on our investments and so forth. And the State Treasury Asset Reserve, more commonly known as Star Ohio, last week was paying 0.07%. Our Park National Bank checking account is paying 0.15, so I can double the rate of return, which still doesn't amount to a hill of beans. But I'm reviewing that, and I just simply sharing with you that I am in the midst of a review and making a few changes. And that's all I have.
Keith, do you have that updated information on with the tax rate change?
Shouldn't, like, ordinance 54 and 55, shouldn't we, these show coming out of finance committee, so it comes out of some committee before it's an ordinance, you know what I mean? Just to,
Where we at?
Yes.
shouldn't we at least just, I mean,
Yes.
talk about the two in finance here to.
Give me a second. Hold on just a second.
Just a small item.
Seth, are you still?
I'm heading out.
Alright.
It's
Huh?
boring.
You like me?
This is the last.
Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to New York City School. Sorry.
He's going back to school. 10th grade, going
Yeah.
go through high school again.
Leaving your wife behind.
Somebody's gotta work.
It's called community outreach. It's a communications position with PR. Doing a lot with Facebook and Twitter and video, and occasionally work with students and have to put together events.
So David, if there's two ordinances, do you need two legislative requests or just the one?
Is it gonna be like the old?
Well, if they're related, I could do it on one.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm going to do some work with.
Do you want to write that up real quick, or do you want me to do it?
That's where a lot of the video is going to be.
The tax ordinance.
Oh, yeah, I
Tax
can-
ordinance.
Hopefully be involved with them.
I have this, is what I have.
To start a speed
Throw that away.
blog.
This is, does everybody get a copy of that?
Yeah, everybody's got a copy.
Oh, yeah, it's always,
You know, we,
this hardest part of the day is always.
I think the last time we talked,
Once it heats up, it just.
I think the last time we talked 2 weeks ago about the concept of tax increase, we had talked about and we had shared that chart that had things broken down by 0.8%. I think I shared with you a couple weeks ago that Kim and Keith both expressed the cumbersome nature of having an income tax rate that went out to 0.001%. And I looked through a listing of other tax rates with other governments in the state of Ohio, and out of about 400 and some, I may have come across two that had them to the thousandths of a percent. So I had mentioned that we were going to take a look also at 0.1% increases. That is the chart that you now have in front of you. And we'll need that legislative request, I think, signed coming out of this committee. So the ordinance as drafted, and there's two of them here that we're looking at. One is Ordinance 54, which basically would amend our existing income tax ordinance with updated information should the voters approve a 0.4% increase to our tax rate, taking our tax rate to 1.9%. It's my understanding from talking to Lynn that ordinance would need to be tabled. The next ordinance, which is 55, actually has on it the ballot language that would appear on the November ballot. David told me last week that basically what we would do is when ballot language would be submitted to the Board of Elections, should Ordinance 55 be passed, it would need to have attached to it the language for Ordinance 54. And that both of them would then be submitted to the Board of Elections. And then the ballot language as it appears on Ordinance 55 is what would be on the ballot. In looking at the breakdown on the chart that you have in front of you, the new one showing the 0.1%, the 0.4% increase, taking the tax rate to 1.9, is what's closest to the 1.875 rate that we were looking at before. In some conversations with you, I understand that you agree with me that that's what we should ask for from the voters. My concern with the 1.8% tax rate is particularly if the credit is increased for those who live in Heath but work outside of Heath. The 1.8 increase might not generate enough new revenue long term. I certainly wouldn't want to be in a situation where a few years from now we realize that we would need to go before the voters again. I still maintain that a 0.5% increase, taking the tax rate to 2%, is more money than what we need. And I am not a proponent of asking for more money than what we need either. So the 0.9% rate, mathematically, for people in the process of completing their income tax returns, will be easier for them to work with. That's the way that the Ordinance 55 reads. And then also, as I said, Ordinance 54 is basically drafted. It would replace the existing language in the tax ordinance that we have. And in talking with Lynn, 54 would be tabled and 55 would be voted on. Not tonight, but on August 6th, I think, which would be the next time that we would meet. So both ordinances would just be read for the first time tonight.
You need to have 54 on the books at all.
Yes, and it's my understanding. And like I said, from what Lynn told me, which was the way that it was handled in 2003, Keith was the last? Okay. In 2003, the way you do it is you have 54 drafted, it's read, it's tabled, but if Ordinance 55 passes council and then is forwarded to the Board of Elections for the language that's on it, you basically just put a copy of 54 with it. For some reason, I don't know why, they need that language as well. So that's what we've been advised by David and Lynn to do, and so that's what I'm suggesting we do.
Can I ask why we're declaring each of these an emergency?
Because the
Deadline for
I was going to say, particularly in the case of 55, the deadline to have ballot language to the Board of Elections is 4 p.m. on August 8th. So by declaring an emergency, and we're not waiving the second reading, we're just declaring an emergency. By declaring an emergency, then they take effect once it's been passed and signed. Yeah.
30 days.
Okay. You can take a look at that, see, I think that looks good. So what we have here is a legislative request which we would need to have to come out of this committee for Ordinance 54 and 55.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Well,
Is that legislative request for both of the ordinances, 54 and 55?
Yes, it is. There's a 1 and a 2 there. And
what I would suggest, Jeff, that we do, again, Jeff's asking about the increase. Yeah, I think, Jeff, obviously the credit is handled by council action separate from what appears on the ballot. In my opinion, and what I would support, if the tax rate were to be increased by 0.4%, I would support a 0.2% increase in the credit. That would generate, as I did the math, using a baseline $50,000 a year salary, and I use that just to make the math easy for myself for no other reason than that. A 0.4% increase in the tax rate on a $50,000 a year salary would generate another $200 per year in revenue, approximately $16, somewhere between $16 and $17 more per month. For if the credit were increased by 0.2%, obviously you cut that 200 number in half, then it'd be $100 or $8 something a month is what it came out to additional. That would put us at what we're estimating right now to be slightly more than $500,000 more per year. I think that reflects the fact that there are people who live in Heath that work outside of Heath that don't necessarily get the benefit of the services during the workday where they're out of town, but still reflects the fact that they do get the benefit of services when they're in town on the weekends and that kind of thing. So obviously that's something for council to decide, and for, I guess, since it's an ordinance, I would have to sign it. But that's my position in regards to any potential increase in the credit for those who live and work outside of the city.
And you would, I think, wait to see if it passes to be able to address it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. And then, and Keith reminded me of something, and go back to Ordinance 54. As I said, we put that on the table. If in November there's ballot language of an increase and it passes, then what we would do then after the election is we take 54 off the table and pass it so that it would take effect at the beginning of the year. And then, yeah, any kind of change to the credit would then also be addressed at that time. And it would need to, obviously it would need to be addressed prior to the beginning of the year.
54 is an attachment to 55. It's not on my copy, but it's just to save paper, I guess, they wouldn't do it. But as it would be passed, 54 would be attached to 55.
I would hope we'd know what the credit was gonna be when we're out trying to market it to the citizens, because it's gonna make a big difference when we're knocking on doors, to be able to tell them what it's gonna cost them.
I agree. I agree.
See us wait until after the election.
After the fact.
I agree. I think that if there's any change to the credit that's going to take place, I agree.
This body could pass a resolution with intent, and so that you'd have something in writing, and then you can't do an ordinance yet, I wouldn't think.
But we could have
You did it if something, you know.
Yeah.
I think we should do something, because I think that's
I
gonna
think
be a big selling
resolution idea
point.
is the best.
I think he's
Go
right.
that way.
I think that's a good idea. What do you guys think?
I think that's the way to do it.
I think that's a good idea.
Is everybody in agreement with the 0.2? I mean, like the mayor mentioned, the 0.2? I mean, is everyone?
I almost would like to see it be cost neutral for the citizens, because I know this is a one-shot deal, but
I can understand your point of having that to for something, but I think that when we're trying to sell this, generate the fund.
To give you a comparison too, Deb.
I know it's a minimal amount.
To give you a comparison, I believe that Newark has a 1.7 rate, 1.75 rate, and a 1% credit. Am I thinking correctly?
I don't know what their credit is because I don't have to.
Kim probably would. Keith, you don't have any idea.
everybody.
what Newark's credit is on their 1 3/4% income tax rate? I want to say it's 1%, but I might be wrong. It's either 1 or 1 1/4.
I think it's 1 1/4.
Okay.
I think it's 1 1/4.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that people in Newark don't pay only 1/4% income tax if they work outside the city of Newark. Which is what people in Heath pay right now if they work
Yeah,
outside.
they pay at least a half. I'm pretty
So
sure.
I think that this change would definitely be in line with something like what the city of Newark has in place. If Keith and I's thinking is right on this, it would actually be slightly less, percentage-wise.
Mayor, have you decided when you're gonna have public meetings yet? Maybe
Yeah, well,
consolation.
my suggestion to this body is that we have 2 public meetings prior to a potential vote on this on August 6th. My feeling would be that we would have 1 public hearing sometime next week. I think we could all put our heads together maybe and come up with a day and time for that. I would strongly recommend that we have a 2nd public hearing on Thursday, August 2nd, in part because one of the tools that we could utilize to help publicize that public hearing is the utility bill. We could put a blurb on the side of the utility bill mentioning a public meeting regarding income tax, on 8/2, at city building. We could put a little something on the utility bill that people would receive, I believe, on the 1st in the mail about hearing on the 2nd, which, as it just gives us another avenue of trying to publicize when that is. My suggestion would be to have one next week. I don't necessarily have a day or time in mind next week. I don't know what you all.
You've got the luxury of a 5th Monday as well. That's another
On the
possibility.
30th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd probably be,
Makes some sense.
give a little more time for people to know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seth's gonna write a nice big article in the paper, it's gonna be front page and everything anyway, so.
I like I said,
His
I have.
outgoing meetings.
I had no recommendation. I would kind of leave it up to you guys what you thought on that first one. July 30th is fine with
I
me.
think would be a good day. The 30th, I think would be.
Now, we're gonna do one during the day, one in the evening.
I'm here during the day on the 30th. I have no problem with that. I mean, whatever you guys want to do, I'm open.
I know some, like,
See if that
as
sounds all
far as I'm concerned, I can be there. Now,
Sorry, my penmanship
Yeah, I mean,
isn't as
Jeff's
nice as
working,
yours.
Jeff's working, Brian's working, Tim's. Yeah, that might be tough.
so really, it's tough because you and I and Cletus could be here.
Tim's at a job.
I don't
Not
know,
working,
we
he
have-
just
we
clapped
need
in the
a
paper.
presence from council. I don't know that we need 100% in each and every meeting. You're gonna give us the feedback that we're
Well, that's
gonna be
true
looking
too.
for
Yeah.
anyway.
See, I was
so-
just thinking that people that work in the evening can come in the afternoon or morning, whenever we have it. So you're hitting 2 different segments, not just the one.
Yep.
I'm actually on vacation that whole week, which I thought was perfect, so we didn't have council. I am hoping that I'm not going to be here, so if I'm in town, I will certainly be at the meeting, but I'm hoping to be somewhere.
I understand.
What are you planning to have at this public hearing? I mean, just facts and information sheets, so like people can just come and ask questions?
Absolutely.
Not a real formal kind of presentation or anything, but
Correct.
just more or less, if they
Correct.
want information, okay.
Yep. I think it would allow us an opportunity to present some information about the why. Why are we asking, and what our intentions would be for the use of any additional funds. Which, again, I've said I believe that the vast majority of any new funds need to be put toward capital improvements. And then take feedback, field questions, answer with what we know, and get back to people with what we don't.
Since at least a couple of us are probably planning on being out of town because we weren't going to meet, I make a recommendation of Tuesday morning, the 31st, 10 o'clock. And Thursday, the 2nd at 6 o'clock or 5:30. I'm just trying to think would it be easier for people to get here at 6:30.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think you're necessarily gonna wanna start it before 6:30, allow people to get home, maybe get kids fed, that kind of thing.
7 o'clock even.
7
Yeah,
o'clock.
7, yeah.
On the 2nd.
I'm okay with 7.
I'll come straight from the
10 a.m. on
So-
the 31st.
Okay, so 10 a.m. on July 31st and 7 p.m. on Tuesday, I'm sorry, Thursday the 2nd. Yeah, the 31st is a Tuesday. I'm looking right at the calendar. Okay. I have no problem with that, and we'll utilize the city's website and any other means necessary that we have available to help get the word out on that. Does that sound all right with everybody?
I can make the
That'll
second.
be in the paper too, so Seth's got that.
Okay.
Does anyone
As
else
long as
have
you're
any?
certain on those dates.
What'd you say, Seth?
It says as long as you're certain on those dates.
That's why I'm getting at. Is that what we want to do? I'm fine with that.
I assume it'll be.
Yeah.
You'll make that announcement, Tim?
Mean tonight? You know, I figured Jeff will make it when he gives his finance committee report.
Oh,
That's how I did
Get down,
that.
Jeff.
That's how I did that in my office.
Yeah, you
it's
have,
not that I don't have anything to talk about, Kelly. I mean,
It's part of finance. It's finance.
we're still in
It's
finance.
finance, right? It's coming out of finance, and we'll have a public hearing.
yes, sir. Right away, sir.
That's why I get paid the big bucks.
There you delegate authority. There you go.
Do you have a speaking part tonight? By the way, I'm just checking.
Tim who?
Yeah. Is that Mary Kelly? Okay, so let me clarify because I didn't write that down. I was just
So Tuesday, July 30th, 10 a.m.
31st.
Tuesday, 31st, 10
10
a.m.
a.m. Right?
Yes. And then Thursday, August 2nd, 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Council changes.
Are there any other comments?
We'll get you a cup of water there.
Yeah. Any, but regarding the 1.45 as opposed to the 1.65. No other questions or comments on that?
I think on the, as council to make a decision, like Keith mentioned about having, 10 or something like that, we make a resolution of intent to do that. I think we ought to wait till like Cletus and Brian's back so that all 7 of us can,
Yeah.
pretty much be,
Well, even if
or at least hopefully all 7 would be in favor of the same thing as opposed to
and-
5 of us going to tonight or something.
the request for the legislation, I mean, we could draw up the resolution so that on the 6th, that resolution could be read for the first time.
Right.
But having I think what Jeff's asking is, can we move forward with the request?
I would, well, I guess you want a straw vote on that so we know? I mean, there's no such thing as straw vote, but I'm okay with it.
Are there any other questions, concerns of this? I mean, we got a lot of choices here. We're down to basically one. Is there any heartburn from anyone on anything with those questions, I guess? Having 5 out of 7 here.
I'm okay with it too. I guess maybe if you have public hearings and you get some feedback from people and it looks like we need to go one way or the other from that point to, make it more, make it less because of feedback, we can always fluctuate and do that. Of course, we're not gonna really pass it till after the fact of the election, but, you just have some input after that. I mean, we can start out, I think we're starting in the middle, is where I look, and you can go either way. If you start at each end, then you're kinda.
And the idea being that, again, the reason why I would support a 0.2% increase to the credit is that looking at what we're anticipating that new revenue figure to be, that's in line with what we're thinking we need additionally.
Yeah,
That's why when I looked at the 0.3% rate increase, if we had that be on the ballot language, I mean, that's still $250,000 less than if we had a 0.4% increase with a 0.2% credit. So even if we didn't adjust the credit at all, if we made residents of Heath pay an additional 0.3%, we would still get $250,000 less than if we go with the 0.4% increase and make the residents of Heath who live in Heath but work outside of Heath only pay a 2.2% increase. To me, as I was looking at the numbers, what we were thinking we were needing, and that dynamic, that's, as I looked at the chart, that's what drew me to that rate and to that change in the credit.
0.4 increase.
Correct, with the 0.2% credit increase.
And I think really, what Keith said about putting a resolution in there and declaring that that's what we're looking to do. Then that way the people, your public hearing, they can come, they voice their opinion, that this is what we're saying we want to do. What are their feelings about that? Let's face it, we need it. That's all there is to it.
We need
I've
money.
said before, and I'll say it again, you wanna travel the road, you gotta pay the toll. And some of the tolls that we're gonna see had a lot to do with the street department.
Oh, sure.
I mean, we're looking at probably big dollars up in the old ridge, we're looking at the Greenbrier. There's certainly things that we need.
For the past 9 or 10 years, well, at least past 8 years, we have not spent in capital improvements anywhere near what we used to spend. We haven't maintained paving and curbs in our neighborhoods anywhere near what we used to. And the day of reckoning is coming as it relates to the quality of the streets and curbs in our neighborhoods. You are not going to get grant money from anywhere to repave streets in Fox Run or Greenbrier or River Oaks or Willow Ridge or a number of other places in the city. You're not going to get it.
You may get it in Southgate, but it's a
Yeah,
CDBG.
The straw
Yeah,
poll,
yeah.
I go with the 1.9, which is a 0.4 increase, just as a straw vote.
For
Okay. Any other comments? We're at 7:14 here, so nothing else for Finance Committee? Yep. You already went over this, right? The awesome rates that are out there.
Yeah.
Okay, Finance Committee is adjourned. Thank you.
I need to do, you wanna do caucus real quick? Yeah. Won't take this a second. Mr. Morrow, you'll do the invocation.
Yes.
I have 2 people to excuse on roll call.
I'll get that.
Nothing else. Committee reports, everyone that didn't do a committee report last
Has
time.
anybody got Brian's on the safety?
Which he was gonna do it next time, he said he wouldn't be here.
Oh,
so
okay, okay.
So if we don't have it for some of these, we'll just hold it till next time.
Mm-hmm.
Just do what you can. Introduction of ordinances, is there any, we talked about one of them that one, oh, there was resolution one. Do any of these have to be waived? Is there any reason for any of them?
I'm sorry, Tim.
On the ordinances, I'm just trying to do them all at once real quick. Is there any down through there that anyone knows that we need to waive for any particular reason?
Did we wanna waive that one on uniform?
Yes, Sergeant Black's, the uniform reimbursement, 52.
52, you wanna waive that?
And then also on the resolution, we wanna
Yeah,
waive
that's
that.
on the back, you wanna waive that? Okay.
Now, are we ready to discuss it now?
Tim, you don't need to do that one
Which one?
on his uniform.
Yeah, if you wanna. Okay, any other ordinances, anyone, other than that, we're just gonna hold all the others for the second reading.
I don't see any pressing reason why not to.
Okay, then we go to the resolution on the first reading, which is resolution 2012-5, and there was said about waiving that, but we have discussion on that?
What's the proper terminology for me? So I don't.
Oh, first thing you wanna do is you wanna make a motion to waive
Yeah.
the second reading. And after we pass that, then you make a motion to adopt
Okay.
the resolution.
Special on that.
No.
We could have to change it.
Anything else? Anybody have on any other?
Are we waiving the second reading on the resolution?
Yes.
The resolution, yes.
Doug, is that you?
No, it's me.
That's you.
Dick.
That's Dick. Yeah, if you want to do that, yeah, because it was, yeah, that'd be good, if you will. Okay, so in community development, you're gonna do that. Finance and trade. Public services, tomorrow. Public safety, I'll just skip that one, I'll just say that it'll be next meeting. Streets and drain. Planning commission trade.
We are gonna have a
Right
meeting.
here. Sixth.
We have an agenda.
Yeah, we do have
5:30.
an item.
Hey, John, on the 79 project, it doesn't look like that median's wide enough to put our toll booth in.
Oh,
You know,
no
for
worry.
both ends.
It's elevated.
Skinny at each end. I didn't know whether you were gonna have a skinny guy collect the money or. I just-
We're working
look
it
like-
in, guaranteed. Especially coming from Newark. We're not- yeah.
Get that in there, Seth. Make sure you're right there. Both ends 79. He's not gonna fall for it. He's not gonna fall for it. This was April 1st. I
So,
could probably get it
Seth,
in there.
what's your future hold? I hear there's you may not be joining us.
I'm going to work for New York City Schools, doing community outreach,
Oh,
basic communications. I don't know if any of you have had reason to meet Fran Russ in the last couple of years. We know the name. She was the communications director. She was let go.
Okay.
And reposted the position.
Oh, congratulations.
good for them, bad for us.
Do you have any idea who's going to be covering us or how that is going to handle that?
I'm not sure. Anna Sugar is going to be the education reporter. I don't know what that is going to include this also. I would guess.
I just opened it tonight.
And she and that her night job has been posted. So until they fill that, she won't move to my shift.
Yeah.
So I don't. It might be a few weeks where there's,
Okay.
you know, I don't know who will be following up with you.
I'll try to just proactively contact. I'm not sure who. Maybe Anna. I don't know.
Anna or Kent.
Okay.
If there's anything that needs.
Okay.
Well, especially in the week of the public